every move of God begins long before anyone notices it. Before the crowd, before the light, before the worship, before lives are transformed, it begins with a burden placed in someone's heart. Years ago, the burden became a divine assignment.
Reach for Christ can be defined as a child of necessity. Sometime in 2021, God laid a burden in our hearts to come up with something completely different from what was already happening in the church. We felt we needed to go on a soul-winning drive to culminate in taking the gospel of light beyond the shores of Nigeria, across continents, impacting lives in the process. And so when this idea came, we decided to escalate it a bit by galvanizing people of like minds, brought them together across denominations, and we gathered ourselves somewhere in a hotel called Lily Gate at Lekki. And we had a strategy session, a very robust strategy session, where we took time to dimension the vision. We took time, to do a deeper dive into what we really wanted to do. We set up teams, and the Central Working Committee was inaugurated. Thereafter, we took this initiative to our father in the Lord, Pastor Adeboye. He gave his blessings, he gave his endorsement, and the moment that happened, we launched out.
With the blessings and commission of our Father in the Lord, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, Reach for Christ was entrusted with a mandate to take the gospel beyond the walls of the church into the places where people live, learn, work, and search for hope.
We started by saying God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is already ahead on this project. We are just there being the persons that people can see to deliver on this assignment, because we must deliver on this assignment. We are being put to test. God is giving us a special assignment to carry out at this time. Let us take ownership, run with it, gladden the hearts of our Father in the Lord, and also gladden the heart of God.
From classrooms to university campuses, from correctional facilities to neighborhoods, from marketplaces to communities, the vision was simple: take the light of Christ everywhere. 5 years later, the vision has become far more than a series of events. It has become a movement of transformed lives, restored hope, and communities reached with the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is the story of God's faithfulness through the Reach for Christ. Every day, people search for hope, purpose, and freedom. Reach for Christ exists to bring the light of Christ to every life and every community. Some journeys begin in a classroom, where tomorrow is being shaped. Through the secondary school outreach, Reach for Christ is raising a generation of young leaders through mentorship, discipleship, and faith-based learning. 5 years later, that mission has touched thousands of young lives and inspired them to become positive influences in their communities. Since its inception, the secondary school outreach has reached 2,095 schools, recorded 272,399 decisions for Christ, impacted 261,146 students, and trained 1,022 peer educators who are carrying the mission forward. The journey doesn't end in the classroom. It continues on university campuses, where young people face new freedom, fresh challenges, and some of life's most defining moments. University is where many young people make some of life's most defining decisions. Through worship, discipleship, and prayer, Light First Campus Invasion helps students encounter Christ and become ambassadors for the gospel on their campuses. Over the last 5 years, the movement has reached 95,345 people, recorded 7,187 decisions for Christ, and visited 56 campuses across 9 states, leaving a lasting spiritual impact on the lives of thousands of young people. Every campus reached is another generation equipped to influence society with integrity, compassion, and the light of Christ. The mission goes beyond classrooms and campuses. It reaches people behind locked gates and those facing life's deepest struggles, bringing the light of Christ where hope is needed most. Nigeria's correctional centers are home of thousands of men and women, many still awaiting trial. Over 82,000 inmates were held across 240 correctional centers, and above 60% are awaiting trial. Behind every prison numbers is a person loved by God. That conviction drives Reach for Christ to bring the gospel, discipleship, welfare support, legal aid, and rehabilitation, believing that true restoration transforms both lives and futures. Across the years, Reach for Christ visited 145 correctional facilities, recorded 7,966 souls saved, provided 999 legal aid interventions, and saw 52 inmates regain their freedom through legal representation or the payment of fines. Yet, not every prison has walls. Some battles are fought in silence, hidden behind addiction, poverty, illness, and despair. For many, hope begins with someone who cares. Through the Anti-Drug and Anti-Cultism Initiative, ADACI, Reach for Christ brings compassionate care, counseling, rehabilitation, and health intervention to those most in need. Since the inception in 2025, ADACI has reached thousands of lives through medical outreach, rehabilitation, education, and humanitarian support. To date, the initiative has reached 30,397 people across 2 states, led 3,705 people to Christ, and trained 1,140 first responders, extending hope through both compassion and practical action. Compassion opens the door that words alone cannot, bringing healing, restoring dignity, and revealing God's love. Beyond this moment, countless others encounter Christ in the ordinary places of everyday life. Not every encounter with Christ happens inside a church or a large gathering. Sometimes it happens in the middle of an ordinary day. Reach for Christ takes the gospel beyond organized gatherings and into markets, streets, and neighborhoods, meeting people where they live and walk. Through the consistent grassroots evangelism, the ministry has reached 340 communities, including 131 markets and 209 neighborhoods, leading to 4,118 recorded decisions for Christ. Every conversation becomes an opportunity. Every prayer becomes a doorway to hope. What began as a 70 hours of uninterrupted praise has grown year after year, becoming an 83 hours marathon in 2025 and 84-hour marathon in 2026. With participation spanning more than 50 countries. Year after year, Marathon Messiah's Praise has continued to grow, reflecting a movement dedicated to glorifying God and celebrating His faithfulness through the life of our Father in the Lord. That same spirit of worship has become the foundation of every Reach for Christ mission. Before every crusade, before every school visit, before every prison outreach, somebody interceded. Prayer remains the foundation of the Reach for Christ movement. Across nations, believers have united in worship and intercession, dedicating 1,992 hours during the 83 days of non-stop prayers and 2,016 hours during the 84 days of non-stop prayers. With 3,834 prayer hubs, 3,834 participants, and a presence in 3 diasporal countries. The movement continues to prove that every outreach is first built in prayer. As the prayer continued, the light kept spreading. What began as a burden became a movement, reaching beyond communities, beyond cities, and beyond borders. Today, through the Light Up movement, lives have been transformed across more than 25 states and Nigeria, while other nations have embraced the vision and organized their own Light Up gatherings. In the last 12 months, Reach for Christ carried the gospel and practical empowerment across Nigeria through 572 secondary school outreaches, leading 71,909 students to Christ. 17,000 crusades recorded 2,037 decisions for Christ with the support of the Young Adult and Youth Affair arm of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, while 21 markets and neighborhood outreaches brought 1,433 people into the kingdom. 6 city mega crusades saw 1,254 souls saved, and 23 correctional center outreaches reached 1,193 inmates with the hope of the gospel. Through 12 one-on-one evangelism outreaches, 396 people made decisions to follow Christ, while 10 mission and village outreaches led 257 souls to salvation. The Anti-Drug Abuse and Anti-Cultism Initiative reached 212 lives through 3 interventions, and the Light First recorded 115 decisions for Christ. Beyond evangelism, 113,112 people were equipped with Light Up digital skill trainings across 132 countries, demonstrating Reach for Christ's commitment to transforming both lives and livelihoods. Reach for Christ visions extend far beyond the moment of decision. It is committed to building lives, equipping people, and strengthening communities for lasting transformation. Today, more than 100 Light Up churches provide spaces where new believers can grow in faith, worship, and remain connected to a thriving community, with many more churches already in development. What began as a vision carried by a few has become a movement, transforming lives across schools, campuses, correctional facilities, markets, communities, and nations. Every statistics tells the story of a life change. Every outreach reflects God's faithfulness, and every volunteer has carried the light a little further. As we celebrate all that God has done, we look ahead with renewed purpose, knowing there are still more schools to reach, more communities to serve, and more lives waiting to encounter the transforming power of Jesus Christ.
Glory be to God, man.